Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first AR or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined as always by my co-host Garth Over.
How we doing tonight, bud?
Yes, and of course for anyone watching live, you can see that we are joined with two very special guests tonight. We have Ben and Aaron from the Off-Road Podcast. Yay, insert incredible studio applause noise.
Yeah, we like shooting. We don't have those kind of funds.
Yeah. Like I'll put a board with a button on it someday, but obviously tonight's show, we might depart a little bit from gun stuff, but I'm sure we'll circle back around to some of a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Just because, well, as we said before, if I'm there, it's not really a gun-free zone. But
correct.
Tonight we were actually going to talk about, because Garth and I have discussed this before, and we've gone on at length. We talk about our vehicles a lot because we do live in kind of a rural area. And I think it's not even for people who live in the middle of nowhere. Outside of your house and your job, most people probably spend the most time anywhere other than those two in their vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it sure seems like I live in mine, but there are things that we always like to keep with us, and we're going to talk about that tonight as we get into the main topic. But before we do that, we are going to talk just a little bit about gun stuff. And Garth, did you do anything with guns in the last week?
No, I wanted to go out to the range, but I'm a fair weather shooter, so I did not, because it's been raining in South Dakota and it's been fantastic. I was actually trying to think. I don't even know if I bought a gun for the month this month. If I did, it came from you.
Well, good news, Garth. There's a 20% off coupon code through the end of the month at Mitchell Defense.
Yeah,
you should head over there.
Oh, that's right.
Those GWAT boys.
I did. I bought a lower, so I guess I did technically buy a gun. So we're saved.
Yep, and that is there. I'm just going to double check because I see that someone says our YouTube feed is not showing up.
Uh-oh.
So that's okay. I'm just going to look now and see. No, it's going to blow up my speakers here in a second because we are live on YouTube.
Cool, man. So no, not too much gun stuff. One of these days I need to get out to the range because of that lower that Nick has in his basement. I'm going to put that on my PSA 16-inch upper that I have. And I'm finally going to I did turn my pistol AR back into a pistol and got one of those new SBA 5 braces. And if you have not handled one of those yet, guys, go get one. They are fantastic. There is so much more, surface area on the back of them that
or for putting around your wrist and using
for my fat wrist
as properly intended and designed.
It just feels better on my wrists. Yeah.
I like how you can adjust it. It will clip on your wrist and then you can adjust it deeper or less deep.
Correct.
It has the deepness adjustment for your wrist. Yeah, see that position there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's because of people who have abnormally long forearms like myself.
You've got some of those ape hangers?
Yes, I sure do.
Ooh, actually, you know what I'm going to do, Nick? I'm going to put that holster on that gun, I think.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That would work good.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
That actually makes sense. So Garth was talking about the holster. One of these right here, gentleman hooked us up with some of these. So this is, anybody who can see this, it is like a buffer tube key or end stop that goes over the end and the end plate. And it has a built-in QD, but it also has this little tab on the side that is made to go into this holster that will clip into molly gear or on your belt.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's pretty slick. What does
Holster.
something like that cost?
They're actually fairly cheap. I think they're only like $40.
Yeah.
That's a good
for
double spec,
for
40.
that backing plate and for the holster body.
Yeah, let me I will look up and double check as we keep talking here. Ben, Aaron, did you guys get to do anything with guns in the last week?
I did. You guys heard how people are getting their suppressors turned around in one day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out if that's true or not. So I bought a suppressor last week. The problem is that when I went to the silencer shop app on my phone, I couldn't remember the password because I hadn't used it in 5 years. And they're so drowned in their customer support that they didn't get back to me till this week. They fixed it. I finally got logged in, updated my photo, did whatever I had to do. And as of today, I have e-signed, but now I still need one more step before it gets sent off to the ATF before I find out if it is a one-day turnaround. So I'm going to find out. I'm excited.
Nice. I actually have a suppressor as well that it's been in Nick's basement for 4 months, and I keep forgetting to do paperwork every time I'm there.
Dude, you got to do it.
You keep saying that like I have all of this stuff in my basement.
Because you do.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of having, a gun shop if it's not in your basement?
That is true. It is nice to have it in my basement. So the original Stratus support system, AR combo for the plate and the original Stratus is $49.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm curious to hear how it works for you guys. I assume you'll run it probably in some 2 or 3 gun competitions.
Yeah, I will. Well, actually, I consider that more of a duty gear piece. Like that's for doing classes and hanging it.
Sorry.
I don't know if they would actually allow us to do that in competition because they're very picky about where your muzzle goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the competitions I've been to don't even like slings.
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's because it gets in the way when I throw my rifle in a barrel.
It does.
I guess if you're switching that way and you have to leave it somewhere.
Ben, did you get to do anything fun with guns or just no?
If you count cleaning them, that's about it. I haven't shot in a little bit and mine was getting a little dusty. So I went through and I was like, you know what? There's one. Might as well do the rest. And I got like 3/4 of the way through my pistols.
Nice.
That is awesome. I had a week filled with guns myself because
shocker.
That should shock no one because it seems to be all I do. I actually last weekend had the privilege to work with the state shooting sports finale for the junior shooters. It's like all the 4-H shooting sports and youth shooting sports had their state match here in Pierre, and they had 8 different ranges going at one time because they had everything from like the youth BB gun to 22 silhouette and small bore CMP matches going that these kids shoot. And
that's awesome.
I was assisting as an assistant RSO on one of the ranges and got to just spent the whole week hanging out on a 10-meter air gun range and was sitting there while a young man went to be a distinguished shooter for the CMP. Like that's super amazing and like something that doesn't happen very often. So got to watch that happen, but there was a lot of it and just like fully immersed in getting new shooters and young shooters into the sport or into the shooting sports. So that was a fulfilling weekend for me.
What type of air rifles are they using? Like the
So they had a handful. There's one they call it the Champion air rifle that kind of wins the day for them, and there is another one called the Air Force, and they're all compressed. They're all a compressed air rifle, and
Like they run off of a tank, not.
yep, it's they run compressed air. So it's we had scuba tanks there, and they would go over and then fill them up off that, and then they can get about 40 to 50 shoots or shots off per. And these are not cheap air rifles though.
No, I just Googled them up and I was just like, ouch.
Yeah, a lot of these rifles, like if they're shooting at the club level, like what these kids are, they're like a lot of them are about a $1,500 rifle.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Crossman Challenger PCP competition rifle, like this is one of the most common, and it is $1,000 rifle.
Man,
I'm looking at some here on a website, and they're $4,000.
Yeah, they do have a price limit for shooting sports, just because.
Yeah, these look like the Olympic style guns, right?
Oh yeah, it's very similar.
So
if you look here, you can see what these are. It's as I share the screen. Like these are a very high end, kind of bolt actiony looking rifle that they have a straight pull bolt, and they are running something that's kind of neat because they all run double diopter sights, which the gun nerd in me just absolutely loves.
I don't even know if I could say that.
So double diopter, for anyone who is unfamiliar with that term, if you look through like the ghost ring sights, like on the back of most ARs or something, where you have that small hole to look through,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to the front post, instead of a post being there, they have another circle. So you look through two different circles and get everything to line up inside. So you line up the circle inside of your ring on the back, along the ring on the front, and put that around your target, and that's what they're shooting at. But these kids are shooting at bullseyes that are the size of a pellet.
Wow. And hitting accurately.
Yeah, and hitting it accurately standing up.
That's impressive. I did not realize. I just pulled out my 4H BB gun because I have that for some dumb reason still. And I didn't realize those things were $185. I thought they were a lot cheaper than that. I think they went up in price.
Oh yeah, they're $185 now. Like $200 for them is common.
It's that's a intense sport expensive a sport, I should say, for kids. I mean, everything is, but $1,500 for an air rifle is insane.
Well, and then they're sitting there and they'll set up, and they've got a spotting scope right beside them that they pull up, and they'll take a shot, look at their spotting scope, and then adjust their sights. And
oh man, they're just building a whole bunch of future Craigs.
Oh, these kids are awesome. Like, it's awesome, and what they're doing is like they absolutely love it, which is great. And then it's, hey, like they get 20 minutes to shoot 20 shots.
So can we go down a little bit of a deeper rabbit hole? If they're looking in the spotting scope and then they adjust their sights, I guess they've got 20 minutes. I was going to say, wouldn't it be faster just to hold over? But I guess maybe just adjusting your sights is better.
Yeah, they have 1 minute per round fired.
Yeah.
Per pellet fired. So they look, then you'll see him come back and sit in a chair and like take a break and relax. And
really?
oh, well, some of these kids are like 12 years old and they're holding up those rifles that are a full-size rifle. And
That's
you
fair.
know,
I see. I
you're
see.
standing
Okay.
like I challenge anyone to do that for 20 minutes and not be like, all right, yeah, my arms are kind of smoked.
Yeah.
But no, so I got to do that, and I'll get off of my soapbox in a second because I know that all of those programs are looking for people to help, and keeping kids interested in the shooting sports is a way to keep all of our rights alive.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm taking my daughter out to shoot. She shot, precision BB gun stuff this last weekend. And this weekend she's like, Dad, can I come shoot your matches with you? So she's going to go from, 1 round per minute to USPSA and 3-gun with Dad. So,
Yeah.
like we're just going to bang that gavel to the other side of this, swing the pendulum all the way.
Yeah. Everything's completely different.
Yep. But it's all fun. But, as we do that and talk about having fun, the other thing that we should do is probably start sliding back to our other topic, which is something else I got in that was kind of cool. I got in more radio nerd stuff, but that will talk about one of the things that I say that we had these guys on to talk about what to keep in our vehicles, and that is one of the things I keep in mind is a radio or an alternate amount of communication.
Yeah, I don't have mine on me. It's upstairs.
I've got boo fangs around.
Yeah.
So Ben and Aaron, let's since we talked about gun stuff here for a little bit, let's talk about you guys. And if anybody who hasn't listened to the Off-Road Podcast, tell us about yourselves and then why they should listen to the show.
Go ahead, Ben. You're the longer host.
I'm the longer host. Yeah. So I've been doing the show for 8 years. And it's basically, we talk everything off-road. We talk to people in the industry. We talk to, general users like ourselves, people who go out and go wheeling and exploring the woods or hardcore rock crawling. And we talk products, we talk new vehicles. Our last episode was just about the new 4Runner that's coming out. So we kind of broke down what's new with it and what we kind of liked and didn't like. And yeah, we're just regular guys going out and having fun wheeling. It's kind of like, I don't know, we're average Joes just trying to enjoy our passion with everybody else.
That is awesome. And their show is super informative. If you want to learn about things, or if you have a vehicle and have questions about, they've probably talked about it at one point in time. And unless you're talking about putting like Frontier axles under a Titan or Titan axles under a Frontier, or
that's been done.
Some other goofy Nissan things.
Those weird Nissan guys. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I'm the resident Nissan owner on the show, and I've done a lot of modification to my Nissan Frontier. It's actually more Nissan Titan than it is Frontier now. And it's a whole lot of fun. I do a lot of stuff with it. We've got a show actually coming up at the end of May where we're going to do an All About Us show where we talk about and break down. Mostly it's going to be about our rigs, but we're going to talk about ourselves a little bit too. But we're going to break down all the modifications we've done to our car, the different tires we've run over the years, what we think about them, mods that we've done that didn't work, because that's definitely a thing. That's the same with guns. How many holsters do you have that you don't use anymore?
We don't talk about that.
How many boxes of holsters do you have that you don't use anymore, right?
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, Nick's in the comments. He says he loves he loves some Nissan Titan V8. Yeah. So I've got that V8 in my Frontier. So it's great.
So why don't we break this down a little bit into a couple different things? Of one, not so specifically when we're out like wheeling or anything like that, but what are some things that you guys just like to keep in your vehicle kind of all the time? Like what's something that you think is just ultra important to have?
Well, this should go for anyone really. First aid kit, fire extinguisher would be my first two that I know are always in my vehicle. Like you can get something like this Element fire extinguisher. They're not the best because wind will blow it away, but this is a step up above nothing. And then I mean, first aid kit should be in everyone's vehicle. You never know when you might need to patch up a bullet wound or tourniquet off your arm or somebody's head, or just patch yourself up, or your kids.
Correct. I will say that, and not just the boo-boo kit of like, oh hey, here's a Band-Aid. Okay.
No.
The ouch pouch has a place, but
as the resident firefighter on the show, I don't have a fire extinguisher in my vehicle, but I definitely dove into that Element right away. I was like, that's small, that's compact. I'm going to check that out. So yeah, definitely going to look into those.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It lights up like a flare. Like a road flare. And the chemical that it spews out bonds with the fire or it absorbs the oxygen. So there's no oxygen for the fire. So it smothers the fire with smoke.
Is it like Halon?
No, it's different.
Not like Halon, but it basically displaces the oxygen.
Nice.
That's the short of it. I actually just got a new fire extinguisher in my rig last fall. I had an incident. Well, my dog had an incident where the pin fell out and she stepped on it while it was in the door pocket of my truck while we were on a wheeling trip, and the whole cab filled with white powder, and my dog, which is pitch black, was looks like a Scooby-Doo ghost. So it's fun. It's a good time.
Nice.
Was that just a chimney fire extinguisher that you had?
No, it's a company called Element.
Okay, yep. Here I see the Element fire extinguishers available on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had them on the show about a year ago.
Oh, it's probably been 3 years. It's been a while.
Maybe
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, we had them on the show. It's an interesting product, but like wind kind of blows it away. So you kind of you should have a regular ABC fire extinguisher as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, have you tested one or used one or tried to?
I've not, but I've had a few friends, and then we had a local fire department test one.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good idea. I know what I'm going to do at next meeting.
There you go. And they come in and it blow. So I've got the 50, and I think it goes for 50 seconds, and the 100 goes for 100 seconds, is I think how it goes.
Okay. That's cool.
Another thing you can do if you don't want to carry one of those is just make sure you've got good insurance.
Yeah.
So let it burn.
I mean, sure, we could say that. That is not the recommended way.
Well, if
do you always
always
do the recommended thing?
We're not going to talk about that.
All right. Okay. Just checking.
My attorney has advised me to not answer those questions.
I actually just used one of those CO2 fire extinguisher for the first time. We were cleaning out our barn over the weekend, and there's one that came with the property, and it's super old, and it had the giant plastic funnel on it.
Yep.
And I was like, well, it's going in the metal recycling. We're going to get rid of it. I don't know if I can trust it. So I squeeze the handle, and like snow comes out of it, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. So I played with it for a whole bunch, sprayed it around the kids, and had a good time.
I have totally never used one of those to cool down beer.
I completely believe you.
They're very effective at that, allegedly.
Yeah.
No, so fire extinguisher and first aid. Those are things that, honestly, I think Ben hit the nail on the head. That's just something everyone needs to have in their vehicle, kind of no matter what. Is there anything else that you guys carry? Like,
I've got one that's in my daily driver, and if I'm not driving that car, it moves to whatever other vehicle I'm in, and that's my get home bag. You know, the get home bag has a lot of things in it, and I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of those things. But yeah, that goes with me, as well as I have a large first aid kit that goes with me in each vehicle, so it travels around. I can't afford to have one in each vehicle, so the big one travels with me.
that is fair.
Yeah.
If I had, I have a big one in each vehicle now, but carrying that through, there was a long time where it was I just had the one that made the trip with me. Whenever, oh, hey, we're doing this, and you would move from one to the other. Garth, there anything you were gonna say you were gonna add that you carry?
Honestly, around where I live, I carry a chain, just for pulled out and pulling people up. So, I've been stuck a few times.
I carry tow straps more so than chains.
Yes.
Thank you for considering safety.
Garth's just a good old boy.
Yeah,
that's how you do it on the farm.
Yeah,
well, it's a little different with the type of recovery you're doing. You're not dealing with people stuck deep in mud. Well,
oh no, I mean you're. I mean, yeah, you are.
Yes, but I'm sure it's a rated chain for that.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not anything light or anything like that.
And then chains are what we've used for 1,200 years or whatever. They will work. You have to use them right. There's other products that we use that can be more effective and more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I carry tow straps with me. I was always a large believer in chains. Like growing up in the wintertime, Grandpa carried it was 2 chains, but it was 2 chains on a tire with no rim. And he would chain up to whichever side it was he needed pulled, and he would try and get as close to 90 as he could and just floor it and use the tire to stretch in the middle.
I've heard of that trick.
And now I'm like, hey, they make this neat strap that rolls up, fits my toolbox nice. And
yeah.
And it's a whole lot lighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't get rust all over everything.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on a vacuum delete 4x4 hubs? I think that's a great idea. Delete them. If it's vacuum, delete them. Delete
all the vacuums.
Yep.
Yes. So one thing that I do carry so I'm not saying a bunch of tools. I obviously carry like small toolkits in all my vehicles with some extra stuff for things that I work on, because everyone needs to carry a pair of 3/4 inch wrenches for tightening steel targets. But no, tools are very important. 2 of the things that I've actually got, and one is fairly cheap. Well, they've come down a lot from what they were, but the small, like, I remember the brand like Nebo or something like that, but the battery jump packs. And I know that there's better ones out there than those, but it's like you can get them for a little over $100 and they will jumpstart a dead car.
Yeah, you can. Costco sells one. Does not work so well on bigger engines, V8s, diesels. But there's different brands that do have ones if you've got like a larger rig that needs more cranking amps.
The one thing I've actually saw, and I've been curious to buy it, and I haven't yet, are those portable air pumps, like the handheld ones.
So I have one of those.
How does it work? I mean, does it do a decent job, or? I think I used it
You
once.
want to spend 7 years waiting for it to inflate.
Well, it depends.
See,
The one
I
you
have,
own was Ryobi.
Yeah, and that one that it took forever to inflate. And then I eventually killed the compressor in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it got me through the Washington Backcountry
Mhm.
Discovery route
Absolutely.
and a handful of trips. But it's kind of like if you spent $60 on that, spend 200 on a better, smaller, portable compressor like a Via Air, or Napa sells one now, Maxim or something like that. I think.
I think that the Milwaukee
So-
I think any power tool brand would work fine if you're not like a wheeler where you're airing up and down and
Yeah.
airing up and down. That's a little tiny guy.
just
That looks like it's
shared
for a
this one.
motorcycle.
Well, so I've actually used this to with a car that was still on the bead, but just barely.
Mhm.
And it did bring up from 2 psi to 50 in about 5 minutes.
Wow.
So the kid could drive home. And then I have aired up with it a couple times, and it's handy. It's not for like like I said, for a wheeler who's gonna air up and air down.
Sorry,
but,
trying to get information. Don't mind me.
Garth.
But
Well, if you've got
that's-
like a Milwaukee Tools and all that, it might be cheaper to go that route though.
Well, the Milwaukee one is they've got a 12 volt and a 18 volt. The 18 volt one, if you go to Home Depot, you're going to pay $180 or something for
Yeah,
it.
true.
And if you get the 12 volt
Oh.
one, it's probably like $130.
but that'll also do stuff around the house.
Certainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your tractor tires low, your kid's bicycle.
Well, and these are like, I have a pickup with Ram boxes on it, and the Dodge pickup that has it, or Ram pickup now. It's not a Dodge Ram, it's a Ram, whatever.
Ram.
But I just have that. Like, I'll charge it up and throw it in the box on the side, and then hey, like last year, my 3-gun stroller has flat tires, and pulled it out and it was zzz, zzz, zzz. I mean, just pumped them right up, and
Yeah.
away we went. And everybody went, "Where'd you get that?" I was like, "Hey, I carry stuff for this."
Yeah.
No, as small as portable as that one, that's kind of nice to, it's not going to take up a lot of space, so you're never going to pull it out of your vehicle
Yeah,
to
that's one.
Save space.
Yeah, that's one where it's in there, but it's not really for a wheeling trip. That's where you walk out of work or the hotel and go, I have a low tire. I need to get to a gas station or a tire shop, and that's what you use to get you there.
That'll do it.
Yep.
So those are a couple things. Anything else? Garth, sorry, Ben, go ahead.
Flashlight.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that should be a given for, I'd take any gun guy should generally has a flashlight, right?
Yeah, I got 2 in mind.
Or a headlamp.
Or a headlamp, just some sort of portable light, so that if you've got a weird noise and
that
you're
is
stuck on the side
not
of the road.
just your phone.
Yeah, way better than a phone. I mean, it's a flashlight. I mean, you can go your classic, was it Meg light to, they've got nice small ones now, stream light,
Mm-hmm.
gloves. That's another
Right
one.
here, the Streamlight Micro Stream.
Yeah.
These run off one AAA. They're about like $25, and like I buy them, like they're in about every bag I have.
Yep, that's pretty good.
I had one of those in Coyote. I don't know what happened to it, but I stopped carrying it because it would always turn on my pocket, even though it was clipped.
Mhm.
And then my leg would get really hot because it's intense. It puts out a lot of heat.
Well, I mean, this one doubles as a hand grenade.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a couple of those keychain Streamlight ones too, and same issue. They would get clicked on, and all of a sudden, like, my side is really warm. So yeah,
Hot flashes.
yeah, just
Whew.
man, it's the weather.
Yeah. I like to also keep a large fixed blade knife in the door pocket.
That's not a knife.
I usually at least have like one of the razor knives where you can replace the razor. I've got like the Milwaukee flip out one. I usually keep it in my rig just because, you know, it's not good for everything, but I can usually get around with carrying that most places and get what I need done.
I always have a pocket knife on me.
Besides the pocket knife.
Anyway,
at least one pocket knife.
Yeah, I always have a pocket knife on me because, well, that's just the way I like to live my life. But then with that, I too like to carry a solid, like a fixed blade or even a larger, like super strong lock knife.
Mm-hmm.
You know who should make some knife scales for fixed blade knives?
VZ Grips. VZ Grips. VZ Grips are great because they're made out of a solid flick of G10. And G10 is great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of texture from mild to extreme, as well as color options, are available. Shorty options as well. 1911 grips with extreme customizability with standard slim palm swells, thumb notches, safety cuts, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available. And this code is good for all 15% off all handgun and rifle grips, and that code is AR-15 podcast.
They actually do have knives.
Yeah, they do make a full knife.
I have two of them, and they are definitely, obviously not meant for cutting. They are meant for letter opening and defense. But I do have one of the pick ones, and it is very comfortable to wear. And every time I go to the big city, I have it on me. It's a must take. So
yes,
they're pretty solid.
Yeah, they're made from G10, like solid G10.
I've
not looked at the knife section on their website.
Oh, definitely check it out. It's totally worth it. They're not overly bad for a price, but again, they're good quality. So, again, I wouldn't use it to cut anything, but obviously opening your mail at the post office in your car, not in the building. And big city travels, for me, it's a solid.
I like their pencils. I'm going to have to get one of those.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, look at okay.
That's actually the one I have in green.
That looks like it would plunge really well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yes.
Yeah, they have but yeah, it's the G10 dagger. And the other part of that is, hypothetically, there is no metal in that. So in theory, it could go through a metal detector in Minecraft.
Yeah. Another thing I keep in my vehicle, at every vehicle, I've got a cradle that supports my cell phone while I drive, but it's also a charger, so it wirelessly charges my phone. So I have that, but I also keep a charge cable and a cube to plug into your household voltage.
Yep. Those things also live in mine, although my magnet mount is not a charging one. So my phone cradle magnet mount, which is, I'll give the company a shout out, some Bullet Point Mounting Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And mounted right up to the dash, and I pretty much just throw my phone at it and it sticks to it with the magnet. And
gotcha.
Yep. Then I also have one of those, and they're fantastic. They really are.
Yeah, until your case cracks and breaks, and then your phone falls out of the case, and the case stays on the mount.
Yeah. My cell phone gets a lot of usage throughout the day from when I wake up till after I go to bed. And whether it's work or home life or side stuff or the podcast or just scrolling, doom scrolling, I think is what the kids call it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's important to keep mine charged.
Yep, I carry those, and then I generally have a power bank as well, just in case I'm not in my vehicle or sitting somewhere where I decide to plug it into that instead of my vehicle's power source.
I have one. I have a power bank as well, but I've got one of those little jump boxes from Costco, and it's a power bank in its own. So to make sure that it's charged, every now and then I plug in my phone, or I've got a auxiliary Bluetooth that I use at work, and I'll charge that off of it. So if I'm not in my car, it's still charging while I'm sitting around the house, not in the car.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, my jump pack also, you can charge things through it.
Yeah, because if you're a lot of depending upon your vehicle, some of them don't have an always on 12-volt plug. Mine all shut off when the vehicle's off, so it's like, oh, I need one of these on, and so I just use the power boxes till I get around to wiring in one.
That makes sense.
Is there any other obvious ones we're missing yet?
Well, I know that it was mentioned before. Marnie mentioned blanket, hat, gloves. Those are some things to keep in, especially if you live somewhere where it isn't always above freezing. And I keep a raincoat or a poncho as well in mine, just because I've been stuck in the rain. It went through some of the other weird things. I've been known to always carry a change of clothes in my vehicle.
Hey, you never know when you're gonna end up with one less sock.
Well, it's not just one less sock. I have.
That's why you carry a roll of toilet paper, so you don't end up with one less sock.
I've lost more sleeves on my t-shirts.
Actually, that is one that 100% we do carry in all of our vehicles. I do carry a roll of toilet paper.
Yep.
which is a rather obvious one to all of us, but a roll of toilet paper has a lot of uses.
I have a package of dude wipes in every truck and every tractor I drive.
Yep. I've just been covered in mud, oil, or other things too many times to be like, I do not want to drive back into town in my underwear again.
I've done that.
Yeah, I said again.
More than once.
So I just went to carrying a full change of clothes with me.
Yeah.
I think I might start doing that.
I haven't had this issue, but I do know that if you wear fancy shoes or high heels a lot, Ben, that you might want to keep some sneakers in your rig in case you weren't going straight home or you broke down and had to walk or something. Sneakers.
It would be very smart to keep a spare pair of shoes, and because I was recently at some off-road races and I got up in the morning kind of groggy, and I wanted to drive in my Crocs because I wanted something a little comfortable, and I was going to wear my boots. Well, I didn't grab my boots. I left them by the front door. So I am out in the dust, the dirt, crawling over hills and stuff in Crocs. Not the most comfortable thing. Mine are all terrain, but it would have been better to at least had some tennis shoes because my feet would have been a whole lot cleaner.
It's because you got the 4-wheel drive strap on there, right?
Oh, mine have tread on them too.
Oh man.
And they're camouflage. They're fancy.
That is included with my change of clothes. Another thing that I do carry as well. This will move on probably to some other stuff that people might not. I carry a little bit of food in all my vehicles. A lot of them are the freeze dried or dehydrated meals.
Mm-hmm.
Peak is my personal favorite. Yeah, Mountain House, Ready Was,
4 Patriots.
4 Patriots. Yep.
Yep, it's one of the ones I've got Peak and Mountain House too. I've got a variety.
Yep. I carry one of those with, or I carry those with. I shouldn't say one of those. I carry some of those with just because, again, I've been stuck in a blizzard, and it's like, hey, I should have some food.
I've been stuck on top of a mountain in a blizzard, and it was nice having my freeze dried food there to eat. It was very comforting. As I slept in my rig, knowing I at least had some more warm food to eat.
Yep. Water is always important, and I've put life straws or Sawyer filters in. Like I have a more or less a survival kit in each vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's part of my get home bag. So I don't carry any water besides driving to and from work. I'll have my water bottle that I bring to work. It's a large metal Nalgene in case I need to boil water in it. But anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, you can get water. And if it's not clean, my get home bag has the filters. It's got the aqua tabs. It's got stuff you could boil water. And there's also a Silcock key. A lot of the work I do is in industrial areas. So in case somebody takes the knob off of their spigot, I can improvise.
You've got the
Yes.
four one, right? Where it's got 4 sides, so you can open it. Spigots. Yeah, I've got one of those too. It's handy.
Yep. One of those totally didn't just get added to my Amazon cart. No, the Stillcock key is something that I had been talking about. Oh yeah, I need to remember to pick one of those up.
Right. They're only like $7.
I got like a 4-pack of them on Amazon or eBay years ago. And like I've got one that floats around the garage. I keep one in each vehicle just as kind of a, hey, if I need some water and there's no one around and no one to give it to me, I can give it to myself, especially at like a public building.
Yeah. No, that's just one of those where it's like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to pick one of those up. And when you said it, I was like, that's the thing I needed to add.
That's the thing. Josh Leroy Overland mentioned it a long time ago in the comments that he carries a spare tire, and Ben and I are big advocates of spare tires. Not only when you're full size spare tires. So in the off-road world, people put bigger tires on the rigs, but a lot of times they don't want to spend the money to buy that 5th tire to match everything. So full size.
You don't know how many Jeeps I looked at yesterday and today that did not have a spare tire with it. I was like, you guys are off. I mean, they're selling off-road vehicles and you don't have a spare tire. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I can say that it's not even like the same size, or so same size is one thing. I was one of those guys once that had the goofy looking, because I had a tire that was involved in an incident where I needed to change it, and I didn't have overly big tires on my pickup at the time. They're just 285/70 R17s. And they were Cooper STTs, so the kind of mud grip Coopers. And I had a factory 245/70/17 spare that just like tricycled one little wheel, being like, I can keep up.
And it did. It's spinning at 3 times the speed of the air tires. So obviously, besides having a spare tire, you need to have the tools to change that. The jack, the 4-way lug wrench. Ben's going to grab his Milwaukee impact gun.
Ugga 5000.
Those things are a lifesaver.
Oh yeah. And if you've got aftermarket lug nuts that have a key, the socket that goes with that, you never know how. I was in South Dakota, and I was going through my bag and I couldn't find it. And I remembered I threw it in my glove box instead of my tool bag. Or no, it was not in my glove box. It was in my tool bag because I had to get an alignment while I was visiting.
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if your jack is a factory jack, but you have jacked up your truck, your jack might not reach the underside of your jacked up truck. So get a bigger jack or a block to jack the jack up. You know what I'm saying, Jack?
Yeah,
Good
Jack.
advice. Yeah.
So I'm one of the people that has a love-hate affair with the handyman jack.
The scissor ones.
No, so handyman is what we call him.
The
Everyone
farm
else-
jacks.
Everyone else probably calls him a high lift.
Yeah.
I've got one of those over there. It almost knocked me out.
Yeah, also called the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
And I know people who have lost teeth and broken jaws to them
Oh
before.
my goodness.
Mild concussion here.
I also have I know someone who has picked up a loader with one, and you could watch the whole jack bow like a cat
Oh.
a cat 966.
Oh my goodness.
It was it's still going up, so we're gonna do this, and you just watch the whole thing. Like it definitely was not in a straight line when we got done with it.
So
Allegedly.
as long as you don't stand on the side that it's bowing towards, I think it'll be okay.
Well,
it's it was definitely not what it was rated for, but it would do it. But no, I am a fan of high lift jacks. I grew up calling them handyman, farm jack, whatever you want to call them. I think high lift is the brand.
Yeah, Highlight's one of the popular
main people out
recommended
there.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can get your cheap Harbor Freight one or whatever, but when you want to talk about Widowmakers, there's a bigger chance that the Harbor Freight's going to make your wife a widow.
Yes, so that is also important, is carrying, like you have the right stuff to change a tire, and then again, we talked about the first aid kit.
You gotta have proper stuff for changing a tire.
Yeah. Is that Fix-A-Flat?
No, that's
starting fluid.
Oh, starting fluid. Yes, my man. At least I found somebody else who isn't afraid to do that.
I've never had to do it, surprisingly enough.
Oh, we did on our snow wheeling trip a couple months ago.
Yeah,
someone
you did.
DB'd a tire.
Yeah,
yeah,
you did. Unfortunately, I was there.
It was unfortunate.
I have done that before, more than once.
Good.
And not always recommended.
We've seen the videos.
Yeah, we've seen the videos.
I had one vehicle that I did not bring the tools to change the tire on. That was my LMTV. Had 350-pound wheel and tire combo. I had a spare tire, but I didn't have anything else to do any of the work with.
Yeah, AAA would have loved you.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I have changed an LMTV tire on the side of an interstate before.
Oof.
And they are, like, after you get them on the ground, like a 20-ton bottle jack's your friend.
Yeah, I see. I didn't own a 20-ton bottle jack. I owned an oversized socket set so I had the right socket, but I also didn't own anything with enough torque to get the lugs loose. I eventually bought a Milwaukee impact gun, but shortly after that, the truck.
You just use a breaker bar for that.
How long though? How long?
Well, you use your high lift handle on it to extend it, and then you call over an extra friend to help pull down.
Yeah.
Well, no, see, what you do is you put it on, and then you step up onto it and jump.
Yeah. That sounds like a Widowmaker also.
You only hit the side of the pickup once.
No. So guys, what else? So we talked about that. Like there's the get home bag stuff. There's a survival kit. We've already covered you need to have first aid, water, a little bit of food. One thing that I also carry, matches or a lighter.
Yeah.
Windproof lighter if you're gonna do it.
If these are some Yuko stormproof matches. Wow.
Yep.
Like these are awesome. I love these. You can get them at like Walmart and Amazon. They're like $1.99, $2.50 for a pack of them, and
they're cheaper if you get them local. Amazon's price are way high on them.
Way high on them, but I know Walmart carries them, and every now and then, like we'll go in there and I'll just grab a pack, throw them in the cart, and like my wife uses them all the time, and they are windproof. They are stormproof. You can throw water at them and they light back up.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's one thing I would say to carry around is those.
A Bic lighter.
Yeah.
I have some sort of blanket in all of my rigs as well.
Now, is it a real blanket or is it one of those tinfoil emergency blankets?
A Whoopee.
Well, both. I have both, actually. The tinfoil blanket would be in my get home bag, but behind the seats of the pickup trucks or in the trunk of the cars, there's some sort of a blanket. And it's a throw blanket, so it's only like 6 by 8. It's not like a quilt, but it's big enough to wrap around a person.
I've got poncho liner whoobies. I've got, my kids love those. I love them.
I love them.
I've got a hoodie made out of one. It's amazing. Actually, I've got several of them. But you mentioned the emergency blankets. There's a few companies that make the emergency blankets, but they're like a thicker version that don't rip and crinkle as much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I've used it as like a ground mat to reflect heat. It's nice.
I have one that's a bivy sack, and
the sleeping bag ones.
Yeah,
and I've got one of those too. I've got 3 of them.
Like that one is awesome. Like they're the texture of them is a little bit different, but they have like bright orange on the outside, and then the mylar on the inside, and they will get you warm fast.
And they're like what, about 2 inches thick, round when they're all rolled up in the bag.
Yeah, they'll fit inside of the like a can holder or cup holder. That's the word I was looking for.
I like to keep some cash also.
Oh yeah.
My off-road rig also, in addition to cash, I have like a Ziploc bag that's probably got $5 in quarters. Sometimes you'll go to a campground and it takes quarters to shower. So just keep a bunch of extra quarters in that rig. I don't live anywhere near toll road, so I don't have to worry about any of that monkey business, but cash.
I felt so stupid. I went to the hills I went there yesterday, and it was supposed to be a day trip, and I ended up staying the night. And I did not check my one account, and I had $100 cash on me, thankfully. And in my account, I had another. Well, I was able to take out $140, so I had $240 cash on me the entire time I was out there for a little over 24 hours. And I brought it all home, so that was kind of nice. Thank you, Wheel of Fortune, this morning.
Yay, casinos.
Yay!
Yeah, don't gamble, kids. It's not a wise decision.
Some of my vehicles, my recovery gears on them always, or a shovel, whether it's the e-tool or a full-size shovel. A shovel will be with me.
Yeah, well, and depending on what type of shovel.
Yeah.
Depending on where you live, depending on time of year.
Yeah. Well, like I carry a number 2 scoop shovel, like the big grain scoop shovel in the winter in the back of my pickup, and it's just for scooping myself out of snow. The other thing that I do carry is I carry traction boards. Like I am one of those guys.
I have a
those
set.
only
overland.
those only join me on my trips.
I have actually, my wife has a set mounted on the rack of the 4Runner that you can't see because they're not like blaze orange and on the back to show everyone that we have them.
That's good.
Unlike mine, which are blaze orange, where everyone can see them. Yeah, thanks.
Well, so is your Jeep.
Yeah,
True.
they match.
Yeah,
For now.
hers are green, and so is her 4Runner.
Yeah.
So I have the blaze orange ones in my pickup that are just zipped up in the box. And the other thing that's in the back or in the box of my pickup all the time is a cooler.
The box
For
of
your
your pickup,
soda?
like in the bed.
Yes.
Okay.
Under the tonneau cover, I do carry a cooler with me. It doesn't always have anything in it. It might just be an empty cooler laying around back there. But again, we live kind of quite a ways away from anything. So like if I'm running out of town to go somewhere and I'm, hey, can you want to swing into Costco or Sam's Club or something real quick? I've got a cooler to throw stuff in for the 3-hour drive home.
It must be hard for you to buy ice cream.
Oh, we've got ice cream local.
Oh, you don't have to go 3 hours to buy ice cream. That's good.
No, we have one of the best ice cream shops in the state, right in Pier.
Oh, really?
We do.
Yeah. It's a former chain that is no longer a chain. It's Zesto.
Zesto. That sounds zesty.
Oh, it's covered in like late 40s, early 50s neon, like ice cream cone, walk up.
That's
I think I went to one of those when I was in Rapid City.
It would have been similar, but that they're not the same ones.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But no, it's those are unique. A cooler is one of the things I like to carry. Then partly because of what I do, I always carry extra earplugs, and I carry extra earplugs and extra safety glasses.
And then, of course, ammo, but we'll get into that.
My sunglasses are ANSI rated, so they can be safety. Depending on what vehicle I'm in, like my work vehicle will have a second or third pair, but all the rest of my cars just have one pair of sunglasses. But I do make sure I get the ANSI rated ones.
Yeah, I've got an extra set of lenses that I keep in mind for I've got some Oakleys.
Oh yeah.
And they've got the lenses that just pop out really easy. And I've got an extra set of lenses, though now that I think about it, I should get some clear lenses. That would probably be a smart one.
Yeah, I carry a couple extra sets, but that's partly because of what I do, where I have people who, hey, everyone carries, rolls of targets and stuff with them everywhere they go. But so I'm like, oh, these are things that I always have, but no one else would carry that because, I have a unique use case. But no, running some of those things through, like with the tools and safety gear. One thing that I do want to mention for recovery gear for any of our listeners who maybe don't know what these are: soft shackles.
There we go.
Yeah. Ben's on the ball going like
I was when we were talking about it before the show, I was like, oh, I've got some of this stuff laying around the shop. I might as well, just in case someone doesn't know what a soft shackle looks like. This is a soft shackle.
So a soft shackle, I will describe audibly. Think of a rope with a tennis ball attached to the end that has a loop on the other end that you would pass the tennis ball through. Now that would come up and secure around like a tow hook on the front or back of your vehicle and go into a tow strap. But they don't bang and clang like metal shackles do attached to a bumper. And you don't have to like loop the strap through itself because they don't have a hole cut in the side of a tow shackle on a factory one. And those things can be an absolute lifesaver.
Yeah, soft shackles are great. And if you've got all like synthetic, you've got a closed loop system, you've got no, if something were to break, you don't have metal pieces flying at high velocities towards you.
That's good because generally metal things flying at me in high velocity are ungood.
Like chain.
Yeah.
Like a chain, yeah.
I just realized the thing that we probably all, maybe Garth doesn't because he drives a Jeep, and this will be evident in just a second. But the thing that all of us keep in our vehicles are Patriot patches on the headliner of our rigs.
Oh, yeah.
Patriotpatch.co.
Yeah. Garth, I say Garth doesn't because the Jeep doesn't have like a felt headliner that you can stick
Well,
things to.
I mean, I could if I did the sound dampeners on them.
Okay.
Then I could. But no, I don't have them right now.
Yeah.
So, yes, I have no Patriot patches along with me.
Yeah. Patriot patches on the ceiling. That's how you know you're cool.
Yeah, if you're super overlandy, you've got like the Patriot patches and all your other patches going across the ceiling. Like I've got my Forerunners half full of patches on the ceiling.
Like
oh yeah, just like those. Yep. And you can find those at Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co for all your patch necessity needs. They have cleaning mats. I use them for mouse pads. I know Nick does as well. They have tin signs. They have T-shirts. They have stickers. You can join their Patch of the Month Club, guys. You will get a awesome patch and sticker sent to you every month in the mail. It's a fantastic deal. That's one of the signs I have as well that Aaron's holding up right now. The Tree of Liberty.
Yeah.
It's a great sign. It's out by my dartboard. I absolutely love that sign. Oh, look, Nick's got his too.
Mine's in the other garage.
Yep,
so you guys,
circle of life.
Go check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co.
Did you know that Patriot Patch will you can also have custom patches made?
Yes, you can. I've looked into it a few times and it fell through because the people I was trying to get patches made for, well, it was the fire department. We just went a different direction. I was sad because I thought Jake's patches were the best quality out there, and then we went with these flimsy like fabric ones. I was really disappointed.
Yeah, we had our off-road podcast patches made through Patriot Patch, and they're amazing. We were even able to get glow-in-the-dark lettering done for our Lumen Locker patch.
Nice.
Do you guys do the hide a key thing? Or maybe you'll incriminate yourself and get your vehicle stolen if you say this. So do you know anybody who does the hide a key thing?
Yes.
Okay. I never have. But I'm also really anal with my keys. I pat my pocket before I shut the door, or if the vehicle's running, the windows rolled down. I've got some procedures to prevent that from happening, but
well, on some of them you can't though because they're key fobs and they have keyless entry. And so if your fob is there, your key is there, all a guy's got to do is walk up. If that key fob is within range, a guy can open your door.
That's true. That's true. If it's that style, yeah.
So there are some of them that even with the key fob being in range, they will still have a key built into them. Like I know the Ram ones are this way.
Mm-hmm.
That you can have a key cut and it will just open the door. But you can't lock the keys in the car because they're close enough to the sensor unless you put your keys in a Faraday bag.
I don't have mine.
I had a car one time that had an extra key on it, and I was told it was a valet key, and the valet key would let the person drive the vehicle, but they couldn't like unlock the glove box or the center console if those were locked.
Yeah, my Forerunner has
that.
My Forerunner has a valet key, and so it's a different color, and it won't open the glove box but it'll open the doors and start the 4Runner.
Yeah.
And I usually, because I've got actual physical keys, I usually bring an extra set of keys with me. And if I'm like with a group of friends, I'll be like, "Hey, Aaron, can you take my keys?" I've handed Aaron my spares 3 or 4 times because I've never locked my keys in the vehicle, but I'm always paranoid that I will because I'm forgetful like that. But I also have stuff to break into a car, like some
Rocks.
wire. No,
Oh,
Rocks.
no, no, like an antenna and a pocket.
like an antenna, a close it. Like you can't get metal hangers anymore, so I've got some copper wire, so that I can wedge open the door and hopefully get the lock undone.
I have done that more times than I would like to count.
Yeah.
I once had to do it on a vehicle that was running at the gas pump
Ooh.
because I got out and it was a Ford Escape, and the door, I put it in park, got out, and a gust of wind blew the door shut behind me, and as soon as the driver's door shut, it locked it.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yep.
I had a coworker lock
Oh.
his keys in his car when he got to the store, and he didn't have his phone, so he called work, and I was just happened to be walking out the door as he called, so I ran over and helped him get his door open.
No, I pulled the Gerber off of my belt and took the antenna off, and then just pried it up and went tink and hit the auto unlock button in uniform at the gas station in Lusk, Wyoming, and
Nice.
no one thought it was weird.
I probably not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Those crazy army guys.
So, what? Is there anything else you guys are thinking that we've missed?
Well, we haven't totally covered what this podcast is all about, and that's freedom dispensers.
Yep. I do carry a firearm with me everywhere I go.
I'm
least one.
Yeah.
At
Most
least one.
places I go. I work for a public school system, so kind of.
Yeah,
Wow, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the dealerships I stopped at today, they got in my vehicle to test drive it, and I didn't give them fair warning. I just let them take the Jeep, and the salesman gets back. He goes, "Hey, man, really like where you got that gun at." So I have my holster drilled into the plastic right underneath the steering wheel, so it's out of sight until you're actually right there. And he goes, "Well, what made you think of that?" I'm like, "Actually, it was my local sheriff. He does it in his patrol car. I thought it was pretty neat, so now I do it." So he's like, "Oh, is that the only one you got in there?" I'm like, "The only one you can see." And he goes, "What's that mean?" I said, "There's more. Don't worry, but I'm not going to let you look for them."
That's the surprise for later.
That's right. It's a mystery tool that'll help us later.
It's a mystery tool. Yep.
Oh, tools.
Yeah. Yep. And if I'm going on an extended trip, I like to bring a lot of things. Like a plate carrier doesn't do any good at home if I'm on vacation for 5 days.
Correct.
So
nope. I
might as well
carry a plate
come.
carrier a lot. Like I will admit that fully. It's not uncommon to see that for me. I carry, blowout kits that have medical and mags.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite. My wife hates these, and I love them. And that is the drive-by kit from RE Factor Tactical. I will pull one up for anyone who has not seen one before.
Actually, I think I have one laying around here somewhere. Oh,
but the drive-by kit is a headrest mounted bag.
Oh, it probably looks like
the easiest way to put it, I think.
Is it, so it's a first aid kit that mounts to the headrest?
Well, you could put anything you really want in it.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't really designed to be a first aid kit. Originally, it was designed, and the price has gone up on these since I ordered them years ago. But so it has a molly that hooks onto the back of the headrest, and then it has a big red cord that you pull the cord out, and then this clip will hook to a belt loop. So as it's attached to the headrest, you can load it up there. You can see the headrest part that attaches around, and then you have this 2 meg panel that comes out. What I have done is actually filled it full of medical gear inside of the pouch, and then just have 2 magazines. So it is a blowout kit and first aid kit, but it happens to also carry 2 magazines.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a first aid kit that had it's got molly webbing on it, and then it's got Velcro on it, so you can just pull it away.
Yeah, similar concept. This just has that handle that gets woven through.
Yeah,
and
nice.
then it goes around your headrest, and then it has like the hook part of the hook and loop happens to be like right at the back of your head. So my wife hates it because her hair gets caught in it because she has long hair, and I love it because I have short hair, and I'll be rubbing my head on it, scratching
your back.
There are 2 things you need to worry about, though, with that thing. First of all, you need to weave it right, because in the event you need it and you grab and go to pull that red strap, if you do not weave it correctly, it will not budge off the headrest. And secondly, do not let your a-hole friends sit behind you and get bored, because they will start weaving it on their own, and then it will be stuck there for life.
I've seen it happen.
Oh. So, yeah, stuck for life doesn't sound good.
Well, not stuck for life.
It's not stuck for life. It's just got bored in the back seat.
Therefore, someone's life.
Yeah.
They're not with us anymore.
No. So I too carry that. Like a plate carrier is something I carry, and then I travel a lot of times with an AR pistol because of SBR regulations and Mother May I letters.
Yeah.
So I generally have an 11.5 or a 10.5 inch AR with me.
Yeah, that's usually what I carry is I split my time with my vehicles, and so I built 2 kits, and so I have an AR rifle in one for the farm, and then an AR pistol in the other, and that's loaded with tourniquets, stop the bleed things. Oh gosh, now I'm losing the name on them. The actual
chest seals.
Chest seals. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and things of that nature for a actual event. And then Nick, about a couple months ago, decided he needed boo-boo kits in all his vehicles, and got me hooked on the knee as well. Just smaller things, pain meds, Band-Aids, things that you would need. Yeah, in an everyday life situation when you cut your finger on something dumb, and that's been a huge. I've used those more times than I can count already in the last 2 months.
Straight up, I got on Amazon and ordered like individual packet of like the individual packet packs of like Amazon brand ibuprofen, Tylenol.
Oh yeah, I did some of that too.
All of that stuff, and then went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of Band-Aids, and all of that stuff with like burn cream, and then just got Ziploc bags out. And my daughter and I divvied it all up and built out 5 like quart-sized Ziploc bags that just have Benadryl, Tylenol, ibuprofen, antacids, and then Band-Aids, a little bit of burn cream. Like it's a boo-boo kit. It's, oh man, I nicked my finger, something. Oh, here, and you.
Yeah, we've so I'm a school bus driver, and we've got first aid kits on our bus. And this year they doled us out some boo-boo kits. It's like Band-Aids and stuff for nosebleeds, because it's so. I probably have refilled mine twice now, because of you'd be surprised, not surprised if you've got kids, of how
Yep.
often you go through just Band-Aids.
Mhm.
Or they get a little nosebleed. So it's like, here's a small piece of gauze, because it's only just started, and you don't need
Yeah.
big.
You don't be sticking tampons up there.
Yeah.
Cotton rockets.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, only one other thing I can think of is spare fluids, but that's only on my wheeler. They stay in my wheeler, but spare fluids come with me on those trips where I'm driving that specific vehicle.
I mean, I'm B positive, so and my
Not those spare fluids, although boy, wouldn't it be fun to be able to just carry some of that stuff.
Yeah.
well, see, I'm B positive, and my wife is O, so I do.
She's your spare fluids. You just tap into her. How does she feel about that?
She doesn't know that's the plan, but
Well, she's in the comments, so she's gonna know soon.
Yeah, boy, I've made that mistake in the comments before.
So we kind of touched on chains and flat straps. I carry kinetic rope. That's it's a little different. And it actually allows you to get a little momentum.
So-
I keep mine in my rig year round, just because I've pulled people out of ditches, and it's kind of nice to just
so that kinetic rope you're talking about, those things are awesome. I don't carry one of those, mainly because they're so big, like they're a bigger pain. So I carry the smaller ones. We have was it a 4-inch or a 5-inch around one at work? It's three of the 2-inch ropes woven together.
that's a big boy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a 7/8 rope, so not super huge, but it's and it I've got a tote of like all my recovery gear, and it's like your basic. I've got tree strap, but a couple shackles, soft shackles, and that, and you're good to go, and you can generally get anyone out, unless you need some J hooks if they're like some unibody car or something like that.
Yeah, what we use this for is for pulling like road graders and front end loaders that are stuck in snowdrifts, where
Yeah.
you just get a 40-foot run with a 10-ton vehicle and slam into the end of it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Really
Wham.
Yeah. Like they get abused.
Yeah, I love kinetic straps for recovery. It's a whole lot less abuse on your body, your vehicle, because it's like gradual tension until it loosens up, versus just full on slam. Here's
Like a
5,000
chain.
pounds. Yeah, like a chain, which is so scary, especially when they snap. Though a kinetic strap, when like a shackle goes, is pretty scary. There's a guy on YouTube recently that had a bad incident with that.
But that's why you throw a coat or like a flannel shirt over top of the chain.
Your Carhartt jacket.
Yep.
Well, guys, is there anything else that you can think of tonight to add to things you might want to carry to a vehicle?
I can't think of anything other than making sure your rig is in good condition before you go out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's key.
Especially if you're going on a trip.
Yep, something that's reliable.
Be up to date on your maintenance.
There is one other thing that you need to have that is included with maintenance. You need to have a good sound system so you can listen to all of the shows on the Firearms Radio Network.
Yes. I was hoping you were going to say podcast. When you said a good sound system, I was like, oh, he's going to talk about bumping tunes. But then I was like, maybe he's doing the podcast route.
No, we're going to talk about podcasts because like all the shows, because then you can listen to things like, the AR-15 podcast or the off-road podcast.
Absolutely.
And learn while you drive. Learn.
Thank you for the air quotes. Yeah.
Yeah. Get yourself an education and what not to do in listening about Ben and his shenanigans.
Sit in the vehicle.
Of Nick Dooley.
So will I vomit information?
I got to mention when we first kicked off the show and you did the intro and you had your bumper music at the beginning, like I was like, something's wrong. And I realized what it was. I listened to your show and almost every podcast at 1.3 speed so I can like get more. So the intro was like molasses slow when I was listening to it at the very beginning of the show. I'm like, what's going on? Something's wrong. Then I realized it's my podcast. I listen to everything fast.
Yeah, you're going like, wow, his voice sounds deep today. It's not like Mickey Mouse going really fast.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't change the pitch. It's just faster.
Which would probably be helpful. My wife's going to be like, yeah, that would be great. Well, Aaron, Ben, where can guys find you and the Off-Road Podcast?
Everything Off-Road Podcast. We've got a Linktree / Off-Road Podcast, and it's got all of our links. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever the heck they call it now.
The artist formerly known
We
as
don't
Twitter.
really post there except for our shows.
We don't
go up
post there, but yeah,
our shows are up there. Best place would probably be Facebook. We've got a group. What do we call our fans?
we're the Pavement Haters
the
Club,
Pavement
something
Haters.
like that.
Pavement
Yeah.
Haters Club. It's our Facebook group dedicated to our fans and communicating with them. It's stuff that doesn't get lost in the Facebook monotony of your page stream, whatever it's called nowadays.
We've also got another. We've got another chat group. We've actually got 2 chat groups besides.
the
the
chat
Facebook
group,
groups. Yeah, we've got 2 chat groups, and one is just called Campfire Chat for the Off-Road Podcast, but the other one is dedicated to a video game called Mud Runner Expeditions. It's a game that came out a couple months ago. Right now, it's only single player. You can't play multiplayer with it, but soon it's going to be released online where you can play cross-platform. So someone has a Nintendo Switch and someone has a PlayStation 4. You guys can play together, and you can play up to 4 people together online, and it's a fun thing to do. The chat isn't very active, but as soon as that game is available to play multiplayer online, it's going to kick back up. And we've done a little bit with that, played with some of our listeners. It's pretty fun. Yeah,
it's a blast. It's I sat there one night with 2 listeners, and we were just going through missions, kind of chit chatting at the same time while enjoying a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the stuff right now, and you have different classes of trucks to drive, and
yeah, it's really slow. So if you need something fast paced, this is not the game for you. This game is really it's slower than the AR-15 podcast on 1.0 speed. Like, it's really slow.
yeah, well, we can make it even slower. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, literally you have to drive across the map, and it's slow, but it's fun.
You roll your vehicle, you got to winch across stuff, you get stuck, you got to get recovered. You get your vehicle so stuck, you have to get to a different vehicle and drive all the way across the map to recover your other vehicle. You run out of fuel, that kind of stuff.
Huh. That sounds like farming.
It's like Farm Simulator, yeah.
It's like Farm Simulator, but for off-roading.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right on. So find you guys at Everything Off-Road Podcast. Like if you just Google that, you will find these guys and all of their great content. Garth, is there anything we're missing tonight?
No, I don't believe so. We got led into our sponsorships, and all the buffers are at the end where they can find us. So we're solid there. So yeah, it's been fun talking with Ben and Aaron for sure.
Yes, and thanks so much for coming on, guys. You have any last words for the listeners here before we sign off?
I just want to say thanks for having us on.
Yeah. Get out, go out, have fun. Like, go enjoy the outdoors. That's all I got to say.
100%. Actually, one thing I should mention that is kind of cool, a company that I've done some training with before and thoroughly enjoyed, they are now teaching off-road classes as well as shooting classes. So like they're doing like intro to off-roading and intro to overlanding classes as well as their shooting classes.
That's cool.
So
yeah, RevTac, they're in Jackson, Nebraska. They just did a intro, and they had they had off-road companies from around the country come up to help and like go through stuff. And it was like, hey, this kind of
do you have to drive through a corn maze? He just said Nebraska. What is in Nebraska?
Tornado. You can drive through a tornado.
Well, this is actually right on the other side of the Missouri River. So they have like the river breaks and all that. So they actually have some terrain features there, and they have, some water crossings and stuff like that.
Also, so you might actually need your snorkel.
Yeah. Well, I say snorkel's more for dust.
I am in the same party. I've got a cyclone filter on mine, and at the end of the day of driving behind Aaron, I love to take it and like show it out, like just dump it out across the hood, be like, look, this is all not in my air filter right now. It's on my hood instead.
Yes. Well, guys, with that, as always, you know what I'm going to say. Go out, get training. Like, remember, you are your own first responder. Most of what we've talked about tonight is how to self-recover and take care of yourself. So you are your own first responder. Go out, get training. And you folks out there, stay safe and stay armed. Support the people who support the show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, forpatriots.com, and Patriot Patch Company. Be sure to check us out on social media. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on Instagram, AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on YouTube, AR-15 Podcast 2 on Twitter, AR-15 Podcast on Facebook, and wherever podcasts are found. If you just want to drop us a line, let us know how we're doing, or give us a show idea, make sure to send that email to AR-15podcast 2.0 @gmail.com.